I'm currently into day 2 of my 3-day suspension, and I want to give you an update on what I found out. So let's talk about it on the other side. So without any further ado, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy, and as I mentioned, I'm giving you an update on my current situation, my suspension on eBay, or as they would word it, my account restriction on eBay. Now, if you haven't watched the first video, I have the first video that basically talks about what happened, how I got here, and my interaction with eBay over the phone. If you want to check that out somewhere up there, the top of the screen, just click on it and then come back and watch this video. For those of you who have an idea of what I've gone through and watched the video, here's an update for you. So last night I called eBay and I got the trust and safety department on the phone again, someone in the Philippines. And of course, I explained that my account was supposed to be reinstated, and even to the fact that I was supposed to be able to list this mouthwash. It's just a mouthwash. It's a clinical strength. Some of you have sent me a message letting me know that it is something that they use before you have some kind of maybe some major dental work, or maybe dental or oral surgery, that type of thing. So I called in and I spoke to a representative in trust and safety. So you have to call the rep, get that rep wherever you get in the world. And I think I actually spoke to a US rep when I first called, and they transferred me to trust and safety in the Philippines. And okay, we'll talk about that in a second. So I talked to that representative. They looked at it. They saw the note that the representative in the last video, the email that she sent me, that said my account was going to be unrestricted and everything was going to be fine. And this rep seemed to think otherwise. And I was like, well, you know what? Here's the thing. You guys are all over the place with your answers. So please allow me to speak to a supervisor. And she put me on hold a few times and said that her supervisor was on a call with someone else, and that I would have to be put into a queue, and that she said that office was open 24 hours and they would call me back that night. Now, mind you, I called at 9 p.m. and they said, well, they'd still call me back that night. I said, okay, I'll stay up. And so I waited. 11 o'clock came, no call back. So I called again. I got another rep and asked for a supervisor, and they said the same thing. Okay, so mind you, look, this is the thing. When your account's suspended, you're not making money. The items are not being seen by anyone for sale, and that's a concern. This is my livelihood. So if you're a part-time seller, maybe you just don't quite understand, but when you rely on this for most of your income, it's definitely a concern to me, and it would be a concern to you. So that's why, and a few of you, said, hey, you don't let it up, get a supervisor. So that kind of got me, motivated to just do more than what I did on the initial video. Okay. So I woke up this morning, was thinking maybe I'll go play a little bit of golf, but I got up and the first thing I did was notice that I tried to run some drafts, actually launched some drafts, and still got the same error message. So I called in, and that rep was like, yeah, we see that you are waiting for a call back from a supervisor. They will call you back today. Okay, so I mean, if they say that there's no supervisor available, I mean, of course, some of you said get real nasty, and I'm not going to do that. That's not my demeanor. I worked in that call center environment for 26 years. And look, eBay puts the restrictions on these representatives to not be able to help you. So, 3 people have told me that a supervisor is going to call me back. Fine. So, hung up the phone and went outside. A little nippy outside out here, like 40 something degrees, and really no wind, clear skies. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to take this opportunity, do what Jenna told me to do, get out of the house and go play a little golf. So I went and played some golf today, and about the 9th hole at the golf course, I get a notification that pops up on my account. One of you awesome viewers was looking out on my account, and they said, you know what, still do not see your items up for sale. And I was like, wow, really? And so it was my turn to hit, and I immediately hit one in the water. I was playing well into that point, but my mind focused from being away from this madness to thinking about eBay again and not focused on what I was doing. So I said to myself, okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go home. Now, let me just caveat this to show you how sick of an individual that I am. On the way to golf this morning, I had a little extra time to kill, but on the way to golf this morning, I saw a yard sale sign. And I said to myself, yeah, let's go. So I went by to the yard sale and spent about $200, bought a bunch of electronics that were really priced right. And yeah, so I was excited to pick those things up. So my mind was still on making the sales on eBay, that type of thing. I guess I'm just sick. I can't take my mind off of my business. But get to the golf course, start focusing on just getting my mind off of it. It worked. And I'm not faulting anyone. I appreciate you guys looking out for me. But as soon as I got that message and went on and tried on my phone and tried to launch a draft, got the same error message, I immediately went and shanked one in the water. And I said, you know what? I don't want to. My mind was on it and not on golf. So I said, I'm just going to cut it here and go home after 9 holes. So I came home and I said, this isn't right. Look, if I was the one that screwed this up so many times to where I'm at the point where I deserve a suspension, then I get it. Okay. I'll take my lumps, right? But that's not the case here. Now, I called and I got somebody in Colombia. Now I told him, I said, look, please do not send me over to the Philippines, because they do not, well, it seems to me they don't care, for one, which may or may not be true for most of those representatives. Most of them it's true, but they're not allowed to care. They're told, here is your script, here's what you must follow, here's what you must do, and here's what you must say. And other than that, they won't deviate from that script. Now, it's not the same for reps in the United States, just from my experience. So I said to the representative, please don't put me over to someone in the Philippines. And I, of course, gave him the backstory. So he's, look, I'll try multiple times. If I get someone in the Philippines, I'll try again. So apparently he called, got someone in the Philippines, disconnected, came back to me and said, look, I tried once, I'm going to try one more time, but whoever I get is what I get. Called again and got someone in the United States, right? And from the Trust and Safety Department. So they put me over. I'll just, for the sake of giving out her name, I'll just say her name is Kay, okay? And so got Kay on the phone, and it was just like a breath of fresh air to be able to actually speak to somebody at eBay that could actually have a conversation with you, okay? An actual conversation where we take turns. No one's cutting each other off. We're listening to each other. We're actually trying to understand what the other person is saying, that kind of conversation. And that's kind of how it went. So after explaining what happened, she actually enlightened me on something, and something I had forgotten about. And apparently back in September, 2 days before the whole proactive thing, I had my first warning for the over-the-counter policy for some, I think, a pack of wart cream. I was selling like a 3 or 4 pack for like $20. Okay, it's just part of when you get health and beauty, you get that kind of thing to sell. Okay, well, she said that was your first one. Now the other one, the second one was when, and that was like a little courtesy, hey, no big deal, you just can't do this kind of thing. The second warning was the proactive. I was told then on the 27th of September, you can, of course, list this. It was just a mistake. Someone in the back room made a mistake. They reinstated the listing. I had to go and launch it from the ended listings, and all was well for a couple months, and until the 13th of December, when I'm like, dude, I still haven't sold this stuff. Maybe I'm price too high, whatever. Let's do a end item, sell similar, and sell it at a lower price. Well, as soon as I did that, someone in the back office or whatever it is was flagged, and this was removed. Okay, so it was removed, and now I got my third warning. Okay, I just said to myself, look, I'm not even going to deal with this. I'm not going to call anyone. I'm just not going to sell this. Okay, I'm just done. I'm done selling it. So I put this away. And so fast forward to yesterday morning, and I picked this up, like a few bucks. It ain't worth, it isn't worth a whole lot to me as far as my cost of goods, okay? This thing sells for like 70, 75 bucks on eBay. Currently still as we speak. That listing that you saw in the other video, it's still up and as we speak. And I listed this, and it was pulled down within hours of my listing it. So that's what happened there. And it put me into my fourth warning, not my third, my fourth warning, and that was the 3-day suspension or 3-day restriction where my items aren't available to be seen. Now what's weird about it, guys, is this. I have actually had about 4 or 5 notifications where I could send offers to watchers. As crazy as that sounds, I've been able to send offers to watchers. And of course, I haven't had anybody buy anything. And I also had, before this went down, I had a sale, $127 sale that someone made an offer on. And like within minutes, I had listed this item. I don't even know if it's not allowing them to buy that, to actually go through and check out for the item that they told me that they were going to buy. I have no idea. Maybe a deadbeat buyer, but I don't know if the restriction is preventing anyone from paying me either. So I guess I guess I'll reach out to the buyer and see if they're having trouble. So I spoke to Kay. Going back to that conversation, she listened to everything that I told her. She's aware of everything that happened, that I even recorded the previous deal, and that I'm a YouTuber and all that stuff, because I said, look, for transparency's sake, I just want you to know what's happening here and my concerns. And she said, look, I can go ahead. I have the authority to go in and remove the restriction, okay? And I guess her department in the United States is who the original rep that was sending an email to get the restriction removed was supposed to be, the one that was going to take the restriction off. Well, Kay said that she was going to go in and remove this restriction, okay? And she says, look, it's going to take up to 24 hours, and so you may not see anything until tomorrow. I said, well, that's at least a day less than what I was anticipating. If it's Monday when my stuff starts selling again, then that's what it is. So I thanked her. I said, though, but it's still, you have the underlying problem. You still have the problem that really hasn't been addressed, and that is what happens here. I have at least now 2. If you're saying that this is legitimate, she actually went in and said that you cannot sell this. Okay, now remember, the rep that I spoke to on the phone on the video said that this was allowed. Okay, but Kay said no, it's on a list. Now I said, well, where is this list? She said, this list, it's such a big list that, it's not under help and contact. It's something that we have in the back office. So I said, well, that's the problem. I said, I have 2 strikes for this proactive that I could go on a list right now, that anyone could go on a list right now, and it's not a problem, but except for me. 2 strikes for an item that should not be on there. I should be still in the warning phase. That's one. So my concern is, what happens if I get the next item, the next perioxidin lacer mouthwash, and I have no idea if I can sell it or not. The bigger problem is this. You guys have a list of these products that we can't sell, and it's not transparent. You have not given us the information to figure out if, hey, this is going to be able to be sold or not. And she said, oh, no problem. You can always call out and reach out to us, and we can tell you if that item is on the list or not. I said, well, that sounds great and all. I said, but the rep that I spoke to last night in your department, Trust and Safety, told me that I could list this item, okay? And you're telling me that I can't. So that's a problem to me, because if we rely on eBay giving us the proper information and you tell us the wrong answer, well, we're going to get in trouble here eventually. If someone, you have a seller of health and beauty that sells nothing but health and beauty, and 1 out of every 100 is questionable, well, if they sell enough items, they're going to get dinged enough, okay? And now we're talking about 3 different items. You know, we're talking about the wart cream that originally set this stuff off. Then I don't have a list to look at to see what I can sell and what I can't. And that's a problem for me. And it should be a problem for you guys. I mean, if you want to see us succeed, as you guys claim you want to see the sellers succeed, if you're here to actually help us through this journey of reselling, then you should give us all the tools that we need and all the information that we need so that we don't hang ourselves. But you guys aren't doing that. And you're saying to me that I need to reach out and ask somebody if I can sell a certain item if it's questionable, yet I can't trust the people that are in these specialty positions to know their left hand from their right. And, I'm not going to ever get you again, Kay, on the phone. The chances of me getting you again to know I'm talking to someone that's competent is next to nil. So what do I do? And of course, she didn't have an answer to that. So for me, it's like this, and I'm going to make another video that I'm going to put out to talk about this in more detail, but I'm not selling health and beauty anymore. Bottom line. She said, well, if it's approved by the FDA, you can sell it. So I guess unless it has an FDA little symbol on the back, I guess it's something that you can sell. But for me, I don't want to take the chance, guys. Look, there's so many items that you can sell on eBay. It's not worth this hassle. Now, for me, the way I feel like it's possible. I didn't say I felt like this was 100% what is actually happening, but it is possible that there is someone just waiting for me to list the wrong item while others are able to list these items and they go unscathed, right? It is possible that someone is there looking for me to just screw up so that they can hit my account with another ding. Now, she said to me that because she's removing this, that if it happens again, that I'm going to be back at the 3-day stage of suspension. The next level after that is 7 days, and I can just imagine probably that after 7 days, it's like, see you later. You're no longer selling on eBay anymore. So for me, I'm not going to take the risk. It's not worth the risk, guys. And if you're on the fence of selling health and beauty, I would proceed with the utmost caution, because it is possible that you can run into this buzzsaw, or maybe you're getting away with it just fine. Maybe you have items that aren't supposed to be listed, and maybe you're flying under the radar. But don't start a YouTube channel, that's for sure, because if my suspicions are right, they're just waiting for me to screw up. Just like some of the haters out there are waiting for me to screw up. Maybe some of the haters are reporting my items. I don't know. So hey, if there's people out there that have nothing else better to do than to just try to sabotage me, then that is what it is. And I'm not saying that's that's happening here. I'm just saying, hey, anything's possible. No one's sending me rat heads in the mail or just gross stuff in the mail to harass me. No one's doing anything like that. But it stings nonetheless when this continues to happen, and you really feel like I'm doing the right thing. I'm just selling stuff that other people are selling. And we don't even have a comprehensive list of what we can and cannot sell. So we're kind of in a bad spot as sellers. So that's my update. I'm hopeful that Kay will follow through. She said that she, sent me a message. I'm looking right now as we speak, and it says your appeal has been approved. So great news on your appeal. We reviewed your case and are happy to share that your appeal has been approved. Any actions taken on your account have been removed. If we reinstated any listings, you'll find the details at the end of the email. You can relist the items. No, thank you. Thanks for giving us a chance to resolve the issue. They've had 4 chances now. If you have any questions or concerns, just get in touch. We're glad to help and glad you're part of the community. Well, I'm happy there's at least one rep out there, Kay, that is willing to help. Just a takeaway from this though, guys, look, it just shows you this. It explains how eBay works. If my example doesn't show you how eBay works when you call and get some help, no other example will show you that. I don't care what their title is. If you get someone in the Philippines, okay, they're not going to be able to help you. The frontline rep certainly can't, regardless of where you call. If you call and get a U.S. rep that's on the front line, they're in Colombia, they're in Ireland, they're in the Philippines, frontline reps will never be able to help you. Specialty department reps in the Philippines are scripted. They're given only so much they can help with before they can say they cannot help you. They have to then go in and request special help because they are on a leash. They're basically not allowed to do anything more than the basics, okay? Now, that's not the same when you get the same trust and safety department in the United States, and that's just a crapshoot. There's no way to get one country over another. There's just no way to do it, okay? That rep has to call trust and safety, and there's a chance it can get routed to the Philippines, and it can also get routed to the United States. Thankfully, that rep I spoke to in Colombia tried twice, because if I would have had the first rep and they would have just transferred me over to the first rep, I would be still in a position without this great news to your appeal email. Okay, so hopefully by tomorrow's live stream, this will be all just a memory, but there's a lesson to be learned here, guys, in that there's only, I'd say, 5% in my, just from the many calls that I've made, 5% of the reps either care enough to try to help you and have the power to do something to help you. The other 95% either don't care, you're just a number, they want to get on to the next call. I can tell you from 26 years of being in the industry that that's the mindset of many people. They're called to call, they don't care, they're not going to remember your call when they go home that night. Their day is over with, okay? But I'd say there's about 5% that not only care, but also can do something for you. And it's really just the luck of the draw. It's like me going to the casino with the $100, play the slot machines. There's a chance, very good chance, I'm not going to win. And that's kind of how I feel when I call eBay, and it's unfortunate. But hopefully, if you've learned nothing else from my experience, you've learned that the eBay contact center, when you're calling somebody, that system, or when they give you a call back, that system is completely broken and it's not uniform across the board, and you are at the mercy of luck before your situation is handled. Not handled or handled, but it's luck that's going to determine, unfortunately, going to determine your outcome. Of course, I always ask you to do this, the time that I take to make these videos, to share my good and my bad with you. Hit that like button, that's all I really ask. Of course, if you enjoyed the content that I put out, consider hitting that subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Or if you want to be notified when we go live like we do on Mondays and Fridays, or when I just make another video, hit that notification bell so that happens. So I want to first, before I go, I want to thank each and every one of you who are looking out for my account, to give me updates, to say, hey, I still can't see your items up for sale. Those of you who had kind words to say, and even those of you who disagreed with maybe my stance on the situation, okay, many of you, even though those that disagreed, were still classy enough to just make it, here's what I think, and not make it into an attack against me. Unfortunately, there were a couple that decided that they just wanted to make an attack, and you know what, that is what it is. I mean, I can't control, how people perceive me. Not everyone's going to like me, and I think that's the thing that a lot of YouTubers have to deal with, is not everyone's going to like you. I've accepted that. Unfortunately, I don't understand why those people still watch the videos if they don't like me, but it is what it is. So for the other 99.99% of you that actually are good human beings and either agree or disagree respectfully, I just want to thank you for your support. Thank you for watching these videos, and thank you for your input, because for most of you, I do consider much of what you say. It may not seem like it. You might only see a heart when you look at your notifications, but I do look at these comments. I do consider what you have to say, and I'm very appreciative of your input. So I'll just leave it at that. So being suspended on eBay, it can be very frustrating. It can really make you feel like giving up. And I can tell you, I felt that a number of times just over the last 24 hours. But yet it's just another example of how sometimes in this business, flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have an excellent rest of your day, and we will talk to you very soon.